Greetings fellow Decepticons, Sandblaster1987 here with the first of my reviews for the, depictions of the 13 primes from the new Transformers Age of the Primes toy line, Solus Prime. Now, Solus is not the first of the 13 that I've reviewed on this channel, as I have previously covered the Universe 2008 version of Cybertron Vector Prime previously, which I'll leave linked in the description below. But she is the first of the 13 that I've managed to get hold of from a new Age of the Primes line, 2025. As you can see, she's a deluxe class, vaguely, sort of off-road SUV type Cybertronian vehicle. But obviously, having invented the T-Cog herself for her brother Amalgamus Prime, Solus is still a little bit of a novice to transformation as a concept, so you'll have to forgive her sort of rough and ready looking vehicle mode here. As you can see, she's got her iconic hammer, the Forge of Solus Prime, tacked onto the side here. And it's got her thread symbol on the top edge of it there. Now, the hammer does have a flip down 5mm post hidden in the main bit of it here to plug onto the 5mm port on Solus's back for storage in robot mode. And the hammer can also split into 3 segments. This will come in handy later when we get Solus into robot mode, but for now, size comparison wise, here is Solus's vehicle mode next to Shadow the Hedgehog from the Jack specific Son of a Hedgehog free movie line. So you can see high-wise Shadows ever so slightly bigger than the full length of Solus's vehicle mode. And here we have Orko from the He-Man Revelation 2021 animated series line. So you can see even with his flight stand, Orko isn't the full size of Solus either. So to transform Solus Prime from vehicle to robot mode, what you want to do first is come to these side panels here and get a long fingernail underneath them to gently prise them open. They don't tend to stay in place very easily anyway on my copy anyway, especially not on this side. I don't know whether it's a minor defect with the sculpting or what on my copy, but they just don't seem to want to stay put most of the time, these tabs. But anyway, what you want to do next is bring the arms down like so. Bring out the fists with their ball joints, and then fold these panels in on themselves to close up the gap where the hands used to be. Then what you want to do next is you want to untap and unfold the robot legs from the rear wheel assembly like so. Extend them out all the way. Untap the rear wheels, bring them to the side. Flip down the feet. Then close the wheel back up again and rotate the ankle assembly 90 degrees so that the entire shin is facing the right way. Same on both sides. Then what you want to do next is you want to untap the radiator grille for the shoulder pads and flip that up, get it out of the way. There is actually a flight stand port here, which is not going to be much use for Solus Prime in most of the time that you're handling up, but if you want to have a sort of off-road jumping off a ramp or something, the flight stand port is there if you need it. But because of its position in robot mode, it's inaccessible for future use, so please be advised. Next, what you want to do is rotate the waist assembly 180 degrees. There's another flight stand port down here on her backside for robot mode in-flight kind of poses. Then what you want to do next is bring out Solus's robot mode head, like so. Again, getting longer fingernails involved may be necessary. Then you want to fold the robot mode and the vehicle mode grille completely in on itself to fill out the cavity where Solus's head was, and just rest her backpack down there like that for now. We'll come back to that in a minute. Then what you want to do next is free these panels here with the shoulders on them. Then bring the robot mode arms down. Then what you want to do is swing these extremely thin fiddly panels into place to fill out the shoulder pads for robot mode. Again, same on both sides. Then what you want to do is bring the butterfly shoulder joints in and lock them in place like so. This will get the robot mode shoulder pads rotated to the correct orientation. Make sure the shoulder butterflies lock in place for stability's sake. Then extend out the robot shoulder pads like so they rest over the joints. Press the backpack flush against her back. Make sure the head is locked in place properly. Then finally, what you want to do is you want to bring up the whole hip skirt piece, bring these two bits down, rotate the central bit 180 degrees, then gently realign the other flap so they all locks back together. And here we have Solus Prime in her completed robot mode. So, proportion-wise, she's pretty good all around to say that she's supposed to be the first female Cybertronian ever to exist. I have to say I think this is probably going to be one of my favourite of the 13 overall, to be honest. I mean, purple, gold, silver, who can't love that kind of colour scheme? It's very reminiscent of the Transformers Cybertron Thunderblast toy, to be honest. So, to reassemble the Forge of Solus Prime hammer, you take this piece here, plug it into the thick end of this piece, then you slot the thin end of the shaft through the arm like so, or through the fist at least, and attach the small end to the top of the hammer. Make sure it's all oriented correctly. And there we have Solus Prime armed and ready to build new artifacts for her brothers. For size comparison, here we have Solus Prime with Shadow the Hedgehog. Again, as you can see, about the same height, but now that she's in robot mode, she can actually look Shadow in the eye more or less. And with Orko from the He-Man Revelation Netflix line from 2021. Specifically, this version of Orko came from a Savage He-Man 2-pack. Unfortunately, I don't have the Savage He-Man that Orko came with because it was a gift loose from a friend of mine. I'll be reviewing Orko shortly, so keep an eye out for that. And finally, comparison-wise, we have the Guardians of Harmony Applejack, specifically based on her pirate appearance from the 2017 Friendship is Magic the movie. Again, I got this loose from a charity shop, so no hat and whatnot. She does still have her backpack wing accessory, which I'll show off in my upcoming review. So, articulation-wise, Solus Prime has a ball-jointed head and a backward neck stem hinge for transformation, so be wary of that when you're moving her around. You've got universal shoulders with in and out movement, as well as forward and back. And you can technically use the butterfly joint for transformation as well, so you can give her more sort of dual-wielding hammer poses, like raising the hammer above her head to strike an enemy down or something with. You've also got a mushroom paint bicep swivel, a decent 90 degrees at the wrist, and at the elbow rather, ball jointed wrist with plenty of range of movement. You've also got the hip swivel, or the waist swivel, which is actually above the hip skirt, which is pretty impressive, as my fellow reviewer Dr. Lockdown down in Australia mentioned that most of these kinds of figures normally leave a waist swivel below such things. Then you've got faux ratcheted universal hips for forward, back, in and out movement, as well as a internal thigh swivel inside there. You've also got a just over 90 degree knee bend, and obviously the transformation hinge on the shin works as well if you need it. You've also got a mushroom peg swivel just above the ankle, as well as the ankle tilt, and of course the slight forward and back movement for the foot for transformation. Now, because of these 5mm post and ports and whatnot all over Solus Prime, she does have a few alternative configurations available for her hammer. For example, if you use these 5mm nubs on the end of these bits of a purple bit here, you can attach the silver shaft of the hammer to one arm like an Armada Sideways style wrist-mounted sniper rifle thing from his motorcycle smokestacks or exhaust ports. then you can plug in the other piece of Solus's hammer like so to the opposite 5mm post hole on her other arm like so, and say that's like a portable shield generator, force field type thing. Of course that's just one option. The whole thing with the customizable weapons with this franchise is that it gives you multiple play options and it's all down to the decision of the individual user. So, with that being said, I have been Soundblaster1987, thanks again for watching. I'll leave a link in the description below for my upcoming playlist of Members of the 13 reviews for this upcoming line. My next Member of the 13 to review will most likely be Megatronus the Fallen, or possibly Alchemist Prime, depending on which one I get first. But until then, my next review will be the Guardians of Harmony Applejack from the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic 2017 movie. Until then, till all are one.